here we go.
Good evening, Peter.
Whoa!
You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
That is awesome. I can keep that suit?
Yeah, doesn't fit me.
So when's our next retreat?
What, next mission? We'll call you. All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you.
We're not there yet.
All right, kid.
Good luck out there.
Hey, Peter. You coming tonight? I can tonight. I got the Stark internship. What's up, guys? Mr. Stark, here's my report for tonight. I stopped a Grand Theft bicycle. Hey, could you do me a favor? Hold on to that. Is this anybody's bike? Oh, I helped this old lady and she bought me a churro. So, that was nice. I just feel like I could be doing more. Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. Hulk gives it away. New move I'm working on. Not bad. Oh, God, this feels so strange. These weapons are crazy dangerous.
Listen, Peter, there are people who handle this sort of thing. Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
Let go of me! Let go of me!
Activating parachute.
The world's changing, boys. It's time we change, too.
This is my chance to prove myself. We have a Spanish quiz.
You gotta get better at this part of the job.
I don't understand. I'm intimidated. Oh, hey, guys.
My friends are up there. Hey, where are you going? What are you hiding, Peter?
Yeah, Spider-Man!
I'm just kidding, I don't care. Bye.
There's a ton of other subsystems in here, but they're all disabled by the training wheels protocol.
I'm sick of Mr. Stark treating me like a kid.
But you are a kid.
Yeah, a kid who can stop a bus with his bare hands.
Guys, congratulations. You made a killer movie. It's so much fun. It's so sincere, but not overly sincere, and the action's wonderful. You did an amazing job. Congratulations. Give it up again, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. I imagine it's really hard to make a superhero movie and to make a great superhero movie. You like that?
I like it.
So how did this start for you? When did you get involved in the process, and what was your take that sort of felt like you were making something a little bit different?
I started very early on before there was a script or anything. Basically, Tom and I were hired on the same day, and all we really knew was that Spider-Man was going to be young and that he was going to finally be in the Marvel Universe. So for me, that was just such an amazing jumping off point to really tell a new kind of Spider-Man story.
What I sort of loved about this film right away as a 33-year-old man is that it felt like a John Hughes movie meets a young Spider-Man. When did that take become a part of it? Because I don't think we've seen that in the Marvel Universe at all.
Well, I think for some people, John Hughes is just sort of shorthand for saying a high school or a coming-of-age movie. You know, it depends on how old you are. Like, if you're younger than me, you talk about, you know, Can't Hardly Wait or 10 Things I Hate About You. But the idea of just bringing that youthful spirit to the Spider-Man story was our main inspiration.
And Tom, you get cast as Spider-Man. Does that immediately feel like a ton of pressure to join the Marvel Universe?
Yeah, the funny thing is auditioning for this movie was incredibly pressurizing, because I wasn't just auditioning in front of the producers, I was auditioning in front of the whole world. And when I got the job, I was like, oh, thank God, I got the job. But then was like...
You didn't fail in front of the whole world.
I was like, oh, thank God, I got it. But then was like, oh, no, wait a minute, now I have to actually do it. Then, like, the real pressure kicked in.
How many times did you have to audition for it?
I did 8 auditions in total.
Like a number of months that you were going through it?
Yeah, it was about 5.5 months, the audition process. But the worst thing about it was after my second audition, every time I auditioned, they were like, we'll let you know tomorrow, the final news. Like, this is the audition.
Typical.
You know? And, yeah, I mean, on my last audition, I was told to stay in Atlanta, because if I got cast, I'd start shooting 2 days later. I left Atlanta after...
Start shooting 2 days later?
Well, that was what I was told. I then left Atlanta after 2 weeks because I was like, well, I obviously haven't got it. Went home, and then 6 weeks later, then found out the news, and then was on a plane 2 days after that or something like that.
To start shooting?
Yeah.
So you were cast, and then you were shooting 2 days later?
For Civil War.
For Civil War.
Oh, excuse me, yeah.
Not Spider-Man.
No.
You were hired saying this is so crazy.
Yeah, really short.
It wasn't written. How does that change?
We wrote the script in 2
Mirror
days.
Lord,
Yeah. It was,
Is that your water or is that my water?
that's your water.
Okay, I didn't want to.
Hey, Jacob, talk about your process and how you got cast. You're hilarious in the movie.
Thank you. It was kind of the same thing as, I didn't wait as long as Tom did, and I didn't find out through Instagram or anything like that. But I auditioned for this part, which was basically like a worldwide search, I'd say. Yeah. There was a lot of people, and a lot of people trying out. And
what was your audition like? What did you do for this worldwide search that made you stand
out? It was just like a basic like self-tape, and then I got a callback, and then a screen test. And then all throughout that, I was just about to graduate from school. And so like that added pressure and anxiety of like, what's life gonna be like after I graduate? Am I gonna fail? I'm not trying to be depressing or anything. School's great, people. But yeah, so all that was going on. And I waited about 2.5 months, like the same thing as Tom, it was like, I'll let you know within two weeks. And then 2 weeks come, 2 weeks come, nothing happens. Another 2 weeks comes. And it's just like, you're so depressed at this point, it's like you just give up. But then when you get the call, it's just like, everything got more brighter for me. Like, the world turned more colorful for some reason.
I'd imagine being cast in a Spider-Man movie does that. Like,
just like everything turned great, and now we're here.
Laura, what about you?
Yeah, pretty similar story. I think I had 4 auditions or something like that, and I just kind of tried to just put it out of my mind. So then when I did get the call, I wasn't even answering my phone, and I had like 20 missed calls, and they were like, "Where are you? Call us back. We have this big news. Call us." So then when I found out I got this part, it was crazy. But I didn't even really know what my part was. They were just like, "You're a girl in Spider-Man." I had no idea. Like, I was like, "Cool. Am I like high school girl number 5?
Spider Girl? What am I? What am I doing?
Zendaya stand-in? Like, who am I?" So it was cool when I finally read the script and found out who I was.
But I didn't know I was auditioning for Spider-Man for the longest time.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is that, like, on the audition things, they say, like,
Untitled Marvel
project.
Yeah.
You're just playing boy in school. Yeah. Like, literally the specs are, like, any ethnicity, any weight, any race, like, any body type. You're just like,
any type
anyone can be Spider-Man. It's great, I think.
You have, like, a moment in the audition where the guys were like, "Now do this." And you're like, "I'm shooting web out of my arm?" Like, what do you mean? No, not web. Just do this. Show us what it would look like.
I did my first audition, and it was from a Miles Teller movie. And then the second one was from another movie. I can't remember. And then at this point, I was asking, like, who am I auditioning for? Like, I need to do some research.
From a Miles Teller movie? What do you mean?
They stole a scene from a movie, and I just was reading those lines. And then eventually they sent me the new sides for the third audition, which were as Spider-Man fighting a character called Blue Streak. Is that his name? The one with the rollerblades?
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Is there going to be a villain with rollerblades?
No, this was like dummy sides. And I was reading them like, "So you want me to read Spider-Man's lines, right?" They were like, "Yeah." I was like, "So I'm auditioning for Spider-Man." They were like, No. We just want you to read Spider-Man's lines.
Sounds like a terrible, nerve-wracking process.
Yeah, I was like,
extremely confusing.
It's obviously Spider-Man.
They were like, no, shoot, we forgot to black it out.
Yeah, no.
Going into this film, one of the things that I also loved about it was that what made it feel different to me than a lot of other superhero films that I've seen in recent years is these extended, long CGI action sequences. You made them really fun, and you invested them with character and story rather than just sort of bombast and explosion. Can you talk about the decision-making behind that?
Well, that's just a part of the script writing process, really more than anything else, is that you want to make sure that the action scenes are driven by character and they feel totally essential, and it doesn't feel like the story has been paused for a moment so that you can have a big action sequence and then unpause it and you go back to the story. And another big thing that was helpful for me was that although there is a lot of visual effects in the movie, so much of it is driven by Tom's performance. And he was able to create this physicality for the character that even if it's his motion capture performance driving a CG actor, it is always so clearly you. Like, you never lose sight of the fact that it's Peter Parker underneath that costume. And that was really important to me, to never forget the human side of the story and to really enjoy an action sequence where a 15-year-old kid is doing doing incredible things.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with you because when I think back to the Raimi Spider-Man movies, which I love and I think are really wonderful, I always had problems with when Tobey Maguire switched over into Spider-Man. It felt a little bit different to me in terms of the stuntman and who it was. I suddenly didn't feel like I was dealing with Tobey Maguire anymore. I came out of it, and I never came out of it with you. How involved in the sort of green screen and the motion capture process were you?
Well, the cool thing about the Tobey Maguire movies is his 2 stunt doubles were my key riggers. So Dan, I've forgotten their names. Dan and Huggins. Yeah. They were the original Spider-Man stunt doubles, and they were in charge of like flying me around on wires and stuff. So I really had like the OG Spider-Man team looking after me. But yeah, the cool thing about doing so much stuff with green screen is that when you see the movie, it's almost like you weren't there because it looks so different to how it was on the day. So you can really enjoy the movie as an audience member rather than a critique. Was that your question?
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
That's close.
I've done
That's
so
pretty
many
good.
of these things now, I'm just rattling it off.
Good answer.
I want to go back to something that you were saying a few minutes ago that, you get the part, you go out to shoot the Avengers film 2 days later, and then obviously the Homecoming isn't written, I think, after you finish shooting that Avengers film. What was that period of time like for you in between you're cast as Spider-Man, you shoot some scenes as Spider-Man for one movie, and then your movie is in the process of being written and it's been announced and you know it's coming down the pike? What is that feeling like, the process of script writing, pre-production, before you actually start shooting?
It was probably the most frustrating time in my life. I'd send them emails like, hey guys, what's the movie about? And they'd be like, we can't tell you yet, I'm like, oh, thanks.
But I'm Spider-Man.
Like, yeah, but please, let me read the script. Like, we don't have a script yet, dude. But the funny
We text each other a lot of like panels from comics.
Yes.
So as I was doing my research, Tom was doing his research, which just meant reading a bunch of comic books, which is pretty awesome.
It was fun. It was great fun.
We'd take photos and text each other like our favorite panels and cool poses and like action beats and things like that. And a lot of them actually made it into the movie, so it was fun.
Really fun.
Even though you had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, I know. When I read the script for the first time, I was so nervous, but then so happy after I read it. It was so great. But the funny thing is that process of like waiting for Civil War to come out, the Spider-Man card didn't really work yet because you can't be like, oh, I'm Spider-Man. I'm like, no, you're not. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But now that movie's come out, my Spider-Man card is in full effect.
Yeah.
Jon, what was it like? There's a number of writers listed on the project. How did you guys all work together?
Well, it's a really collaborative process. The story starts as just sort of like a brainstorm session where you're just hanging out. You're just hanging out and pitching all the ideas that you think would be really cool. And the first 2 writers then took those notes and everything that we had developed there and wrote the first 2 drafts. And then my writing partner and I took that and then wrote the next 2 drafts. And then we had 2 additional writers at the end for when production started to finish some scenes and to adjust to things during the production schedule. But it was really nice to be able to just, get my chance to crack the script and write the movie that I wanted to make.
Now, you've written and directed a couple other films. Was the process just completely different than how you did it before, or do you try to sort of take the process and all the things that you've learned and bring it into this new sort of world that you're working in?
Yeah, I have my own particular creative process, and what was nice about this was just the opportunity to take that and just really scale it up. And I'm always very open to collaboration and great ideas, and when you make a movie like this, you end up surrounded by just the absolute best people in the world. And when they're also helping you out and contributing ideas, and you can lean on them to do so much of the work as well, it's really satisfying to be able to take all these ideas and bring them to life.
Jacob Blower, talk to me about the characters that you play in the film. Who do you play, Jacob?
I play Ned Leeds, and he is Peter Parker's best friend, his confidant, his guy in the chair. That cough was that was an accident, but it was great how that just like filled in perfectly.
Punctuation.
Yeah,
I laughed because I got the reference.
Oh yeah, okay, great, that's great.
I don't think they've seen the movie yet.
Oh shoot, sorry. Well, guy in the chair is what we reference. Yeah, no, he's really just Peter Parker's best friend. He loves Star Wars and he's a big nerd and he's really sweet and genuine and
super into hats.
I think the thing with that is that like it just gives him confidence. The way
his hat, his cool fedora gives him confidence.
Yeah, the fedora, which is something I'm pretty sure people have seen in the trailers.
Yeah.
So I didn't say nothing bad. Just making sure.
When you guys see the movie, you're gonna
Appreciate
get
you.
all these jokes and you're gonna be laughing.
It'll be great. It'll be great. But yeah.
Oh, what about you?
I'm playing Liz. So Liz is the love interest in this movie, or whatever you call it, crush, those things. And so she's the captain of the academic decathlon team that Peter and Ned and Michelle and Flash are all on. And yeah, so she's a senior, they're sophomore. She's kind of like thinks that she's the older, wiser one of the group, but she's cool. She's really smart and driven and academic, and I think kind of different from most of the female characters we're used to seeing in these movies.
I think all the characters are different from most that we see in a movie, and even the villain, you know, and even the kids in high school. The kids are part of an academic decathlon team. They're smart, they're motivated, and they're interested, and then there's really no obvious villain, or at least someone who's just evil or just villainous is out to destroy the world, you know? You have a completely different idea in terms of stakes and who these characters are.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the conception of the villain was the idea that if Peter Parker is what it's like when a regular kid becomes a superhero, what would it look like if a regular guy became a supervillain? And, you know, no bad guy wakes up in the morning and thinks, I'm a bad guy. You know, they think they're doing the right thing. And you know, by being really true to his character's motivation.
Do they like brush their teeth like a bad guy?
Yeah.
Like, that's my feel. Like,
yeah.
They don't brush their teeth because it's more gross that way.
Yes.
And, like, angry.
There you go. That's probably what it's like.
But it's true. I mean, usually in these movies, the one thing that sets a bad guy off is like a death or something really obvious. A family member dies, and now they have to get vengeance on the world. And it's not like that. I don't want to give anything away for the movie, but it's really not like that for your villain at all. And I wonder if that was sort of harder to establish or harder to sort of push for in brainstorms and stuff, because usually it's a very easy identifier of what turns someone bad in these movies.
Well, that's always the challenge. You know, you make a movie because you want to show people things that they've never really seen before. And I thought it was really fun, actually, to build this character from the ground up and to give him a believable motivation. And when you get to set a movie like this in the Marvel Universe, there are so many issues that all those other movies have raised that it's fun to sort of tackle them and use them to motivate our villain.
Absolutely. Let's get some questions from the fans out here. Who's got a question?
Hey, Tom, how are you? I just want to say I'm a huge fan of yours. Been following your career since Secret World of Variety, since 2010, so big fan of yours. And I love everything you do on Instagram, story, and everything. It's really cool. But my question for you is, I love Lost City of Z, and I'm excited to see Spider-Man. What was like the difference for you working on that film compared to Spider-Man?
We are going to talk about James Gray up here,
Yes.
aren't we?
I wanted to just talk about James Gray for this whole interview.
Well, the difference with the James Gray movie is we shot it in the jungle. Which was, you know, kind of tough. But
35 too, I think, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was an amazing movie for me to make. You know, working with James like changed my whole view on cinema, and he is such a fantastic director, such a nice guy, so old school. He's like the way he makes movies is how you'd imagine movies to be made 50 years ago. But
like a DVD box set of Italian neo-realist films, and it's like, go home and watch these.
He would talk to me about movies. And he'd be like, have you seen this movie? I'd be like, no, James. And he would be like, how have you not seen this movie? I was like, James, I don't think anyone has seen that movie, dude. And he just knows everything about cinema, so it was amazing. But making this movie for me was a dream come true because Jon is such a collaborative director in the sense that he allows people to bring ideas to the table. He's not afraid to listen, and he's also like brave enough to listen and take your ideas on and flip stuff upside down for you. And for me, to be involved in this movie from a more creative standpoint was such an honor, and I loved it.
Can I just say really quick, this guy right here is like one of the #1 Spider-Man fans ever. He's made his own like custom, all of the wardrobe for the whole movie. Like it's so cool that you're here. It's great to see you. He came by and visited us on set. Yeah, remember?
I do remember.
Wait, what has he made? He's made like his own costumes and stuff?
His shirt, like the shirt is like the shirt from from the movie, and he's done like the whole like
you have a
old
bunch of them
school suit.
I saw on Instagram. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, that's so cool. That's you. Hi.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's great. Should we get another question from the audience?
Hi there. Thank you all for being here. I'm really looking forward to seeing the film. My question for you, Tom, was with so many different depictions of Peter Parker over the past 10 years, I believe. Did you ever pull any traits or characteristics from Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield's characters and sort of shaping your character for this film?
Yeah, there is one line in the movie which is straight out of one of Andrew's movies, which I took just because I love those movies. I thought they were so great. It's impossible not to be influenced by them. They both did such good jobs of making their characters so different. For me, the biggest influence was the Ultimate Spider-Man comics and Marty McFly. That was the two things I really wanted to do to bring...
Loser!
Just I wanted to bring such a positive energy to this character because he's a positive character, you know? He's relatable. People can relate to him on a more personal level. And I really felt that through Marty McFly and through the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. So that's where I got most of my influence from.
One more question I think we have time for.
Hey guys, I'm really excited for the movie, and I got a chance to work on it as an extra, like while I was shooting in Queens.
That's awesome, man.
What scene were you in? Oh, can you tell us? Were you in the high school?
No, I was playing a delivery guy while you were crossing the street.
No way, dude. That's awesome. I feel like you should get up
Yeah, we
there.
get it. Or...
Talk about what it's like to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, tell me what it's like.
Did you enjoy working with him as a director?
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. I took instructions like you were really exact.
That is so badass.
I was just wondering what it was like filming on location in Queens, and I know you shot in the Staten Island Ferry too. I guess
sounds like I gotta
in
go.
Atlanta.
Sounds like something's going down.
And also, I read that you guys did like a movie marathon of like John Hughes movies to like get it. And like, what was that like for you guys?
Well, shooting in New York was, you know, New York is such a big part of who Peter Parker is, and in most of the other movies, you mainly see like Manhattan, you see Times Square, financial district, and you know Peter Parker's from Queens, so like I really wanted to show more, you know, of the city, you know, do the like outer borough version of Spider-Man, and you know just get away from the places that you've seen before, and you know it's fun. It's fun to see those places in a movie.
The John Hughes.
Oh yeah, movie marathon. I made you guys watch. Do you remember?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
we watched
Ferris
everything.
Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Pretty in Pink.
Say anything.
16 Candles.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
I've done so many interviews.
And then we watched My Cousin Vinny.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, we watched My
Ferris
Cousin
We watched My Cousin Vinny.
We watched My Cousin
But that
Vinny
wasn't
as well, too.
because of you.
And then Ferris Bueller's Day
Did
Off.
you tell Marisa Tomei that you watched My Cousin Vinny?
I did, yeah.
What
The
did she
first time
say?
I ever met her, I was like, one of my favorite movies is My Cousin Vinny. She was like, oh, cool, thanks.
I cannot,
Usually what happens
I cannot
when you do that to
control
girls, isn't it?
myself around her. It's so hard.
Jacob loves Marisa so much. We
Jacob's
did
got
an
a big
interview
crush.
in Atlanta, and one of the questions was like, what would you take from the set? And I said,
Okay,
I'd take Robert Downey Jr.'s watch, which
Okay.
is like stupid expensive.
Okay,
and he was
okay.
like, I'll take Marisa Tomei.
Okay. All right.
We were in an interview the other day with her.
With you, bud. I'm with you.
Yeah, but we were in an interview the other day with her, and they were like, didn't you say something about on set? And he was like, no, I didn't say anything about
During
it.
the press conference,
No.
was called out.
You know what? I will on record say she thought it was really cute, so.
I feel like you make her really uncomfortable.
You know what? Okay. All right.
Let's keep talking about
Yeah, no, let's just,
I wish we could, but I actually got to let you go. Guys, the film comes out July 7th. It's so wonderful. It's so great. You did an amazing job. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.